Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One, the Supreme Authority that moves all things in place. There is nothing like the truth, the Spirit of Truth. Praise be to the Almighty. I'm here at 1 Kings chapter 6. First, I haven't did a video for a week. I have taken other clients on, but let me tell you, taking on other clients has been a complete pain in the ass. It's a sham. It's like working for people for free. These people, they're putting people in power that can't even remember who you are. How can you be a boss signing somebody's paycheck, signing off on a paycheck, if you can't even remember that they worked for you the day before? So this guy, the social worker for these people, when I contact them, are all telling me, oh, you're gonna have to contact the labor board. So I mean, I've done work for somebody and it's 2 months later and I still haven't even been paid. So I won't be doing any more clients. I think I'm done with the registry. You know, if it was consistent, then I'd be okay with it. But there's no consistency here, and I feel like I'm being used from the government. Does that sound familiar? Government using people. So, anyways, we're here at 1 Kings chapter 6. Solomon builds the temple in the 418 years after the Israelites came out of Egypt. In the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, the 2nd month, he began to build the temple of the Lord. The temple that King Solomon built for the Lord was 60 cubits long, 20 wide, and 30 high. The portico at the front of the main hall of the temple extended the width of the temple. That is 20 cubits, and projected 10 cubits from the front of the temple. He made narrow windows high up in the temple walls. Against the walls of the main hall and inner sanctuary, he built a structure around the building in which there were side rooms. The lowest floor was 5 cubits wide, the middle floor 6 cubits, and the third floor 7. He made offset ledges around the outside of the temple so that nothing would be inserted into the temple walls. In the building, the temple, only blocks dressed at the quarry were used, and no hammer, chisel, or any other iron tool was heard at the temple site while it was being built. That would have been something to amaze at, somebody building a temple without tools. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the temple. A stairway led up to the middle level, and from there to the third. So he built the temple and completed it, roofing it with beams and cedar planks. And he built the side rooms all along the temple. The height of each was 5 cubits, and they were attached to the temple by beams of cedar. The word of the Lord came to Solomon, as for his temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, observe my laws, and keep all my commands and obey them, I will fulfill through you the promise I gave to David, your father, and I will live among the Israelites, and will not abandon my people Israel. Well, has he? So this is kind of a contradiction. It says here that I will live among the Israelites and will not abandon my people Israel. The reason why I say that, in Genesis 6:3, it tells us that the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with man forever, for he is mortal. His days shall be 120. My spirit will not contend with man forever. That's a complete contradiction. And I will live among the Israelites and will not abandon my people Israel. Yeah, this book's a walking contradiction. So Solomon built the temple and completed it. He lined its interior walls with cedar boards, paneling them from the floor to the temple to the ceiling, and covered the floor of the temple with planks of juniper. He partitioned off 20 cubits at the rear of the temple with cedar boards from floor to ceiling to form within the temple an inner sanctuary, the most holy place. The main hall in front of his room was 40 cubits long. The inside of the temple was cedar, carved with gourds and open flowers. Everything was cedar. No stone was to be seen. He prepared the inner sanctuary within the temple to set the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord there. The inner sanctuary was 20 cubits long, 20 wide, and 20 high. He overlaid the inside with pure gold, and he also overlaid the altar of cedar. Solomon covered the inside of the temple with pure gold, and he extended gold chains across the front of the inner sanctuary, which was overlaid with gold. So he overlaid the whole interior with gold. He also overlaid with gold the altar that belonged to the inner sanctuary. For the inner sanctuary he made a pair of cherubim out of olive wood, each 10 cubits high. One wing of the first cherub was 5 cubits long, and the other wing 5 cubits long, 10 cubits from wingtip to wingtip. The second cherub also measured 10 cubits, for the two cherubim were identical in size and shape. The height of each cherubim was 10 cubits. He placed the cherubim inside the innermost room of the temple, with their wings spread out. The wing of one cherub touched one wall, while the wing of another touched the other wall, and their wings touched each other in the middle of the room. He overlaid the cherubim with gold. On the walls all around the temple, in both the inner and outer rooms, he carved cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers. He also covered the floor of both the inner and outer room of the temple with gold. For the entrance to the inner sanctuary he made doors out of olive wood that were 1/5 of the width of the sanctuary. And on the 2 olive wood doors he carved cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers, and overlaid the cherubim and palm trees with hammered gold. In the same way, for the entrance to the main hall, he made the door frames out of olive wood that were 1/4 of the width of the hall. He also made 2 doors out of juniper wood, each having 2 leaves that turned in sockets. He carved cherubim, palm trees, and opened flowers on them, and overlaid them in gold hammered evenly over the carvings. And he built the inner courtyard of 3 courses of dressed stone and 1 course of trimmed cedar beams. The foundation of the temple of the Lord was laid in the 4th year, in the month of Ziv. In the 11th year, in the month of Bul, the 8th month, the temple was finished in all its details according to its specifications. He had spent 7 years building it. Hope everybody has a pleasant day. I don't wish people happy holidays or anything, but I do hope that you're doing well. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. This is White Raptor News Ministries.